Alright, folks, so today we're going to talk about beating the gargoyles. Now, the gargoyles aren't particularly difficult, and when it comes to beating them, there's a few things you can do in preparation. So, of course, we're coming from the Undead Berg Fire, and the very first thing that we're going to do is actually not even go to the gargoyles. So these guys you can just run right past real easily. And you would want to have killed the wizard that's up there already. That's that and the Black Knight. So kill the Black Knight, kill the wizard, go back to the fire, rest at it, run past those guys, and then you're going to come down here. This little shortcut takes you right back to Firelink Shrine. If you want to go fight the Asylum Demon, the Stray Demon as it's called, you would go that way. We're not doing that right now, though. That'll be the next video. Now, the reason why we want to come down here to Firelink Shrine is pretty simple. The reason being is that right now we have 5 Estus Flask. 5 Estus Flask is good, but you know, 10 Estus Flask are better, and if we can get them without spending a single bit of humanity, even better. Now, I don't recommend doing this, but you can if you want to, and I'm going to explain why you might want to. And the reason being is, so now we're human, so now we can summon people to help us fight the gargoyles, okay? And there is a summon. So if you go and free Lotric before you fight the gargoyles, his summon sign will be right outside the gargoyle fight. Now, when we come up here, there's 2 things here. So because I'm human and people can invade me, that's kind of a problem. Well, it makes it harder for them to invade me because my path of travel to the gargoyles is a lot shorter. If you invade people outside the gargoyle fight, you're kind of a douchebag. Just because most new players are going to struggle with that boss, and so it's kind of a dick move to do it anyways, but some people do. So, you know, and you're even more of a dick bag if you do it outside of Firelink Shrine. So we got those guys down here, okay? Like I said, I've already killed the wizard. I already killed the Black Knight. Don't have to deal with them. That is a thing you make sure you do before you do anything. There's that wonderful R2 that I was talking about. And these guys, everybody always has trouble. You know, they always tell you not to lock on and do all this rolling and shit. You just back up. Like, that's all you need to do. You just back up, you pick them off. It's not a big deal. If they chase you all the way down the stairs, who cares? These corners, by the way, are lovely for dealing with these guys. Okay. Oh, no, one more. Whoop. And just like that, that should be the last one. Okay. And so there's that guy over there. Now, you can, if you want to, you can go out of your way to get the Grass Crest Shield. If you feel like you need more stamina, that is actually a very reasonable thing to do, and most people do that. Even new players understand the concept of doing that. But right here you can see this. Oh, hey, it's Solaire. There's Solaire. But there actually is a summon sign for Lotric as well. Those will make the fight a lot easier. I didn't realize Solaire was here, so actually you can summon 2 NPCs to help you fight. I, however, do not find it necessary. I won't be summoning any of them. Let's talk about weapons, because that's the other key important factor. Okay. So the large club, if you have the master key or if you pick the thief class, is a really good weapon to go fight the gargoyles with. I recommend whatever weapon you use to upgrade it to level 5 so you can do maximum damage. If you know how to do the skips for both the large ember and very large ember, even upgrading it further, because the goblins, or excuse me, the gargoyles are more of a DPS type deal than anything. You can use the Morning Star. The Morning Star is a viable option. It is a little short on range, so you might struggle a little bit. It does prolong the fight. The Zweihander I do not recommend. The Zweihander is just too slow to be functional, especially that two-handed R2. It has the reach that you need, but it doesn't quite have the speed. The Black Knight Sword, on the other hand, its single-handed R2 does have the reach, and the speed is actually very deceptive. It is faster than the two-hander, and you can get a good timing for that. However, you still would struggle, whereas the Claymore's thrust has more reach, and, well, quite frankly, the first time I beat the game, I used the Claymore, because it does swing faster than the Zweihander, and the R2 on this guy does enough thrust damage that you can reasonably chunk the gargoyle's health. When you get this up to level 5, it takes 5 hits to kill the first gargoyle. It takes 3 hits to kill the second gargoyle. It makes things very quick. The Astora Greatsword is an even better option because, well, with 3 different scalings, it does enough damage that reasonably you can get a lot of damage on target. And you can see I don't even have the correct stats for it, and I'm getting penalized, and I'm still doing north of 100 damage. So the Astora Greatsword, if you have the Master Key, is another good option. You just have to have the stats for it. Getting it up to level 5 is an impossible task before the gargoyle fight. You're only going to get to level 1 or 2, but it still does much more damage than anything else in this early of the game, that it's worth it. I would not recommend small little knife, even if you have one, because it just does not have the reach, and it's not a fun time. Short sword barely has the reach. Astora straight sword is about the shortest you can go before you start to struggle. Other than that, I mean, you know, it's about damage, so things like the rapier, not really that great. The Estoc is not much better. Battle axe would be good if only it had some bleed. It does not have bleed though. Spears are decent because they have range, and you know, even though they don't do a lot of damage, you can kind of rapid fire your attack a little bit, get 2 attacks in where you otherwise would only be able to get 1, and so it makes up for it. So spears are also a viable option. Halberds for the same reason. Halberds have something that spears don't. They actually have the damage. Other than that, if you can't get the Dragon Crest shield for whatever reason, I would recommend getting the Hollow Soldier shield. You just farm for it. That's simple and easy to do. And in fact, the Hollow Soldier shield might even be better just because it has 1 single point more of stability. And I'm actually going to check right now. Yeah, I should equip that. Oh, wrong one. I swapped out the wrong thing here. Yeah. Okay. They primarily are going to do mostly physical damage, so equipping yourself geared towards that is probably the way to go. They don't really do thrust damage. It's mostly slash and strike, so. And, okay. And of course you want to keep it under your half weight. You don't want to be fat rolling during this fight. That's not a good time. Also, I look ridiculous. So I'm not going to use the any of the summons. If it's a problem, I can always come back with Humanity and use the summon again. Lotric is supposed to be summonable around here, but I don't see it. So Okay. So, the gargoyles are very agile. You kind of want to keep your shield up. Most people don't recommend locking on. I don't really feel like it's a problem. If you are down on the downslope, a lot of those attacks will miss. So, like this, for example. And that, you do have to watch out for the second attack, though. And this is the golden opportunity to hit him with a big one. And so now we, of course, have the second gargoyle. And the key is timing and distance. Now, the biggest struggle for me in my case is the lack of stamina. See, I only have enough stamina to block once, and then I only have enough stamina to maybe get in 2 attacks. Now, you kind of have to be patient here, because if you don't immediately kill the first guy, then you have to fight the second guy, and you get situations like this. And that also happens, you know. I've been playing this game a lot. I've gotten to the point where 99% of the time I can beat them first try. However, on the occasional attempt, they will get me. So don't feel bad if you die. It's not a big deal. If you don't have humanity, you know, you can go farm for it by killing rats. If you can't seem to get it otherwise, just, you know, get good. So. That shield might be fine. And that 0.5. Does that really free up anything? No, not really. So we'll just deal with this guy real quick. Nice and simple. Okay. Come on. Just a small little side tip. If you're not guarding your shield, it will allow you to regenerate your stamina at full speed. So, you know, do drop the shield occasionally. Okay, come on. What are you guys doing? There we go. That was a little goofy, but that's all right. Okay. Also, just nice view. Just nice view around this area, no matter where you go. I think I could also actually. Yeah. You can also buy the gold pine resins and go whack on the gargoyles with these, so. Now, if you do have to come fight them again, the only thing to note is that they're going to come swinging right out of the gate. Okay, thank you. Oh, yes, baby. Do that two-hander. Anytime they do the two-hander, it opens them up to be smacked with a two-hander. And there we are. Like I said, if you kill the first one really quickly before the other one has a chance to get down, it makes things a lot easier. You know, And then, of course, I just kind of forgot that I had the gold pine resin. You get 3 of those, and I don't recommend using those for the Taurus demon because it's not worth it. But for the gargoyles, yeah, you could break out the gold pine resin. I killed both of them in like, what, 4 hits? Total? 5? I'll have to look at the video. And here's another just small little thing. Every time you're playing this game and you hear the bell ring on its own, that's another player who's successfully beat the gargoyles and has rung the bell. So, just a little fun fact for you guys. Now, I did want to touch on the stamina thing, how that was a struggle for me. I recommend a stamina of about 120 at least. So, you know, if you're not geared up for a high strength build like my character is, then maybe consider doing some more stamina. You know, and the other thing is I wanted to come into the fight at a reasonably low level. Level 24 is not a very high level, okay? For reference, there's in the Dark Souls community a thing called twinking. And twinking is when you start invading people at level 30 because the game only takes into account your level, but all of your gear is super high leveled, like level 5 and, you know, that type of thing. So, or even higher, because it's possible to get your stuff all the way up to level 15 and still maintain a nice level 30 so you can go invade newbies. It's kind of a scumbag thing to do, but, you know, suffer. Okay. So level 24 is underneath level 30, obviously. So level 24, really not a high level. Getting to level 40 is actually pretty quick to do in this game. If you need to get more levels for whatever reason, please do so. This is also why I like the big club, is sometimes I just don't want to use my brain. I just want to whack something with a big bunk stick and be done with it. Like, you can actually kind of do that with the Claymore as well. So, you know, of course the wizard's usually over here, and then of course the Black Knight is over there. When you're fighting the Black Knight, lead the Black Knight out of the building, kill the Black Knight outside, come kill the wizard, go to the bonfire, you know, do all those things. Solar is helpful. You can duel Lotric and kill Lotric before the gargoyles, or if you want to be sneaky, rinky dinky like me, you can go kick him off a cliff. Now, the intended way to fight Lotric is to, well, let him kill your Firekeeper and all that, and then you actually get kind of a larger benefit by doing that, because not only do you get your Firekeeper back eventually, but then he'll actually drop some of his stuff and you can have it, or you can just go kill him for the Fat Ring early, which the Fat Ring is one of the greatest rings in the game. So you just want to, you know, forward analog stick and R1 at the same time. He won't even get hostile, and then, you know, you can whack him or kick him. And we'll just save quit. Lotric will always be outside in that area after you defeat the gargoyles, no matter what. So whether or not you free him does not matter if you free him early. 5 fucking humanity, holy shit. I think that's because I freed him. And then the last thing I wanted to touch on before I end this video was, of course, the item discovery. Right now it's 158 instead of 100 because I'm at 2 humanity. I'm going to show you what it looks like when it's maxed out. If you're not human while you're holding humanity, nobody's going to invade you. If you want the Kirkland set or some of the other armor sets or even the better weapons in this game, you have to let people invade you. I don't have enough to make it a level 10. Oh well. So My item discovery is now 204. Okay. And then it caps out at level 10. I might raise it by just by leveling up here. So. No, not quite. And that will be the end of this video. Good old OBS.